All right, so I've admitted people from the waiting room, and we'll give maybe another 30 seconds or so, just in case anyone is still finding parking. Making sure they have everything they need. Holding the curtain short, briefly.
Why did that make me laugh so? Very funny.
Those of us who have been to a lot of theater and running late know what it's like.
Yeah, Randall and Annie, I'm dying to know, have you ever worked on Arthur Miller?
We
No.
we haven't done a play, but we did immerse in with All My Sons, because we had an actress who asked us if she was cast as the mother. This is another thing that we did with various actors. She would come to New Jersey. She lives in South Carolina. She would come for about 2 weeks and have us take her through the whole role. And so that allowed us to learn the play as we were helping her. And we fell in love with Randy. Almost did a production. What, Randy, just before the pandemic, I think, right? Or was it right after? But they wanted us at Centenary to do a production of All My Sons. But it just we just couldn't find the time to do it. So
we discovered that play has such close links with ancient Greek tragedy.
Sure.
Arthur Miller, you can feel the ancient Greek roots in that piece. Because I
now
can't.
we did do An Enemy of the People, and that's what made us so interested in doing Arthur Miller, because we love, and we have our own translation of An Enemy of the People. It was done by a man by the name of John Wyatt, who worked at our theater. He knew the roots of so many languages that there was none he couldn't learn within 2 weeks. And he learned Hawaiian. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
wow.
he did all of our translations, because he knew that the punctuation meant a lot to us. Whenever he could, he would go to the playwright's handwritten notes or the original, as close to the original text, to show us every dot, or every, ellipse, or every piece of punctuation. And so it was as a wonderful translation of Enemy of the People. He did our Oedipus. He did, what was the other one? Servant of Two Masters, Comedy of Asses,
Chekhov's One Acts.
That's right.
I wondered, Randy, if you had ever played a Willy Loman.
Oh my God. That would
I think that would be amazing. One of the books I have here, I have it somewhere. It's Salesman in Beijing when
yes.
And I loved it because that whole thing of, you grow in your career, in your early career, you read all these amazing plays, but then you say, well, I've never seen anybody that looks like me do that.
That's right.
And so when I opened up that book, I said, oh my God, here's like an Asian, a Chinese Loman family. And immediately that put it in my head, someday I hope I get to do that play. But and All My Sons too. I love that play so much. I'm so glad you worked on it.
Yeah. Good.
For those watching, we could talk about theater.
Sorry.
All day. No. It's
went off on a
nothing wrong with the conversation. That's the beautiful part about all of this. And I was thinking, I'm like, boy, what an amazing service to have two actors and theater artists like Randall and Annie at your disposal to take you through an entire play. We did a workshop where a couple actors who had played Lord and Lady M from Shakespeare's play worked, kind of took actors through those roles, which was really fascinating. And it's just like, it's so interesting to look at a play from that perspective, where you're tracking the characters, which you guys did a little bit, with the scenes leading up to what you're doing. And so, it's really exciting. And Magdalen put in the chat that she loves this conversation and those amazing books. So thank you, Magdalen, for that. And I'm just going to make a couple adjustments here. Okay. We'll try to keep anything that comes in technically to a minimum so that all of you guys, all of you artists can, just kind of focus on the work. But I think we can get started here. I think we're all ready to go. So hi, everybody. My name is Nathan Agan, and welcome to the rehearsal room, a faction of the working actor's journey. We've been doing these workshops monthly. We restarted them earlier this year, and we've been doing them here online. And it's been a great place to allow artists to explore texts in depth in a way that they rarely get to do, even in professional theater. So this has been a lot of fun, and we focus on one scene over the course of a month. And what's also exciting, for me as a producer, but then I think for the artists themselves, and we were just talking about this a little bit when Jeannie brought up the book. It was what was it? It was what was the title of the book in Beijing, Jeannie?
Salesman in Beijing.
Salesman in Beijing. Well, one of the things I love about these workshops is that we are not beholden to the same maybe constructs or ideas that some theaters feel like they have to be tied to in terms of casting or things like that. We can be more conscious with gender or age or race than maybe some theaters feel they can be. So it's been very refreshing and exciting to see actors explore parts that maybe they feel like they've missed or they've been passed them by or whatever, or just getting the chance to dive into the words and the characters has been really exciting. And then of course, oftentimes we can bring artists together who either have never worked together because of geographic reasons, or it's been 20 or 30 years since they've worked with people. So that's been a fun part of this too. So, but today we're going to focus on the final session of King Lear, Act 2, Scene 4. And I'll let everybody in the group introduce themselves briefly in just a second. And I'll wrap up my little administrative things here. We are patron supported to cover some of the production costs. So I just want to give a quick shout out to our patrons, Joan, Michele, Christian, Jim, Magdalen, Ivar, Danielle, Kevin, and Frank. Thank you so much for supporting this work and allowing it to be possible. And in July, we are going to focus on an adaptation of Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. Director Brian Nelson wanted to look at that novel. It was written, I think, in 1927, and he's kind of put together an adaptation. And we have a great cast. We have professional actors, Alberto Isaac, Angie Bird, Charlotte Northeast, and Mike Gerby. And once again, we have actors far-flung all over the country coming together to work on this. And for those watching, you can, I'll be sure to include links if you'd like to sign up to receive both video and audio replays of those sessions. Typically, those will be available on Thursdays through the month of July. So yeah, we have that coming up, and just excited to continue this going and just the opportunity for this work to happen. It never gets old for me. I'm like a kid in a candy store every week, where it's just exciting to hear these discussions and all this stuff. And it seems the artists really enjoy this too. So I think that's enough for me. I will mention just for the purposes of questions, if you're unfamiliar with Randall and Annie's work, they largely focus on the first folio. And of course, there are other discussions that this group has been having along the way, but that is where their work is kind of geared. So if you have any questions about first folio work or things that you have about the text, this is a great place to bring that up. You can drop those questions in the chat, and I'll collect all those toward the end. It's not to say that we can't discuss stylistic or character situations, but there can be an infinite number of interpretations of the scenes. But I think for the purposes today, as they like to say, the mantra here is like, let's do the play. Let's do the play. So that's what we're going to focus on, and that's that. So I will again be monitoring the chat for any questions. I'll come back in a little bit once the group has kind of done whatever work they'd like to. And I hope you enjoy it. But with that, I'll turn it over to Randall and Annie and the rest of the group. And if like I said, if you guys can do just some brief, very brief introductions of who you are and your connections to either Shakespeare or other things like that, that would be great. And I'll disappear.
Okay, come back.
I will. Don't worry.
See you later.
Who would like to start? Shall I
Jenny.
start?
You go
I'm
first.
Annie Grosso. I co-founded the American Players Theater with Randall Duk Kim. We have shared a wonderful partnership in the theater for 53 years. And so the kind of directing that I think you'll see today is steeped in the text. I'm not a conceptualist. I'm somebody who says, let's look at the script and let's see if we can have Shakespeare's script come alive. When we started the American Players Theater, we promised the audience that they could come up our wonderful hill and see the plays totally uncut and not updated, because we were very curious about the play itself. And that's what we're trying to pass on now to this group of actors. And we're having a wonderful time doing it. So Randy, I guess you can pick it up from there, huh?
I'm actor and he's fellow explorer.
Right.
That's it.
Randy, say a little bit about your background.
Oh, I started acting when I was 18 years old. The main influences at that period, I had seen a production of Oedipus Rex and Hamlet, and that turned me on to a material that I would never have dreamed of getting involved with. Then I saw an actor by the name of Morris Karnofsky who gave me the light that I needed to light my way through life and my work. He set the example. He was a model. And of course, he was the old man in the group theater during the 30s. But I had his Shylock, was particularly indelibly imprinted on my soul. And I tried to find how that kind of work could be done. And I've spent my life trying to find it.
I think one of the things that Randy rarely mentions in the connection with King Lear is that Morris and his wife, Phoebe Brand, came out to the American Players Theater and directed Randy in King Lear. I sat by their side and assisted them, but it was wonderful to see Morris pass his Lear on to Randy. I wish it could have all been there. It was magnificent. But that made Lear very special to us, and that's why we continued working on it even till today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thomas, shall we sneak down to you?
Yeah, we can do that. Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Farber. I started acting when I was 15 years old. I mostly did contemporary plays, a few musicals here and there as well. I met Randy and Annie when I was 19. I had the option to either do an English Shakespeare class or do an intensive with them, and I chose to do an intensive of Merchant of Venice with them, and took one look at Randy and Annie's talent. It's like, well, this is this is where I have to be with my acting now. And I've recently started working with them consistently again. I think November of last year is when we started really working together on the classics. And that's all I really have to say.
Good. And Jeannie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeannie Sakata. I am an actor and playwright. I actually started acting kind of late. I was on my way to becoming a library and information science specialist. And then I attended East West Players, Asian American company here in Los Angeles, and saw a play about a Japanese American farming family, Wakako Yamauchi's Endless Slowshow Dance. And that totally turned my life around. I became an actor, starting off at East West and then branching out into regional theater and some TV and film, and also became a playwright. And I wrote a solo show about a young college student named Gordon Hirabayashi, who during World War II defied and legally challenged government orders to mass incarcerate all people of Japanese ancestry on the West Coast. And I feel very fortunate to have had the career I've had. But one thing that I've always regretted is that I haven't been able to do as much classical theater as I hoped when I was first starting out. So a workshop like this is just balm for the soul for me. And thank you, Annie, and thank you, Randall. And thank you, Nathan, for the opportunity.
Nice. And Lizzie.
My name is Lizzie King Hall. I am a good example of when they tell you only become an actor if there's nothing else you could possibly do, because I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I've been doing Shakespeare since high school, and it's wonderful. We talked a little bit during this month about growing with it. It's such a human experience to play Shakespeare that it always applies to your life along the way. So it's wonderful to touch in at this age, at this moment with these actors and this character. So I too thank everyone.
Good. Good. I guess then we should begin.
Yeah.
And I thought the best way to do it would be to start with the scene. Unless you guys had any questions or thoughts about last week or any of the work. If you do, I'll open it up to you. If not, let's just jump in and do the scene.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good to just jump in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
All right. Good morrow to you both.
Hail to your grace.
I am glad to see your highness.
Regan, I know you are. I have reason to think that if thou shouldst not be glad, I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb, sepulchring an adulteress. Are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister's naught. She hath tied sharp-toothed unkindness like a vulture here. I can scarcely speak to thee. Thou wouldst not believe with how depraved a quality. Oh, Regan.
I pray you, sir, take patience. I have hope you less know how to value her desert than she to scant her duty.
Say, how's that?
I cannot think my sister in the least would fail her obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the riots of your followers, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame.
My curse is on her.
Sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of his confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore, I pray you that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her.
What, ask her forgiveness? You but mark how that becomes the house. Dear daughter, I confess that I'm old. Age is unnecessary. On my knees, I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food.
Good sir, no more. These are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister.
Never, Regan. She hath abated me of half my train. Looked black upon me, struck me with her tongue most serpent-like upon the very heart. All the stored vengeances of heaven fall on her in grateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs with lameness.
Fie, sir, fie.
Nimble lightnings dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty, you fen-sucked fogs drawn by the powerful sun to fall and blister.
The blessed gods! So you will wish on me when the rash mood is on.
No, no, Regan, thou shalt never have my curse. Thy tender-hefted nature shall not give thee o'er to harshness. Her eyes are fierce, but thine do comfort and not burn.
Tis not in thee.
What?
Tis not in thee.
'Tis not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, to bandy hasty words, to scant my sizes, and in conclusion, to to bolt the door against my coming in. Thou better knowest the offices of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy half of the kingdom hast thou not forgot, wherein I thee endowed.
Good sir, to the purpose.
Who put my man in the stocks?
What trumpets that?
I note my sisters. This approves her letter that she would soon be here. Is your lady come?
Yeah, this is a slave, whose easy borrowed pride dwells in the sickly grace of her he follows. Out, varlet, from my sight!
What means your grace?
Who stocked my servant? Regan, I have good hope thou dost not know on it. But who comes here? Oh, heavens. If you do love old men, if your sweet sway allow obedience, if you yourself are old, make it your cause, send down and take my part. Art not ashamed to look upon this beard? Regan, will you take her by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offense that indiscretion finds, and dotage terms so.
Besides, you're too tough. Will you yet hold? Who stopped my servant?
Yeah, I set him there, sir, but his own disorders deserve much less advancement.
You! Did you?
I pray you, father, being weak, seems so. If till the expiration of your month you will return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me. I am now from home, and out of that provision which shall be needful for your entertainment.
Return with her, and 50 men dismissed. Now rather I abjure all roofs, and choose to wage against the enmity of the air, be a comrade with the wolf and owl, necessity's sharp pinch. Return to her? Why, the hot-blooded France that dowerless took our youngest born, I could as well be brought to knee his throne, and squire like pension beg to keep base life afoot. Return with her? Persuade me rather to be slave and sumpter to this detested groom.
At your choice, sir.
I prithee, daughter, do not make me mad. I will not trouble thee, my child. We'll no more meet, no more see one another. But yet, thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter. Or rather a disease that's in my flesh, which I must needs call mine. Thou art a boil, a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. And I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will. I do not call it. I do not bid the thunder bearer shoot, nor tell tales of thee to hide judging Jove. Mend when thou canst. Be better at thy leisure. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 knights.
Not altogether so. I looked not for you yet, nor am provided for your fit welcome. Give ear, sir, to my sister. For those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think you old. And so, but she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken?
I dare avouch it, sir. What 50 followers? Is it not well? What should you need of more? Yea, or so many? Sith that both charge and danger speak 'gainst so great a number. How in one house should many people under 2 commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible.
Why might not you, my lord, receive attendance from those that she calls servants, or from mine?
Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slack ye, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 25. To no more will I give place or notice.
I gave you all,
And in good time you gave it.
made you my guardians, my depositories, but kept a reservation to be followed by such a number. What, must I come to you with 25? Regan said you so?
And speak again, my lord, no more with me.
Those wicked creatures yet do look well favored when others are more wicked. Not being the worst stands in some rank of praise. I'll go with thee. Thy 50 yet doth double 25, and thou art twice her love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you 25? 10 or 5 to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend you?
What need 1?
Oh, reason not the need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things, superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life is cheap as beast. Thou art a lady. If only to keep warm were gorgeous, why, nature needs not what thou gorgeous wearest, which scarcely keeps thee warm, but for true need. You see me here, you gods? Poor old man, as full of grief as age, wretched in both. If it be you that stir these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons water drops stain my man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags. I will have such revenges on you both. I will do such things, and what they are, I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart will break into 100,000 flaws, or ere I'll weep. Fool, I shall go mad.
Good. Good, we'll stop there. And next time through, I'd like to take it to the very end if we could.
Okay.
Let me just first ask the question about, how do you find working with the folio?
Us?
Yeah, you guys.
I mean, it's all I know at this point, working with you two, so.
Right, it's not a change. But it really reminds me of scoring a text, and it's almost like the score. This is such an obvious thing to say because this is what you've been proposing that it is. This is your thesis. It is like a score. But I don't, of course you would memorize it, but as I'm reading it, it just reminds me that there's an option for length, an option for emphasis, where to take the breath. It is like someone 400 years ago scored, the text.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, when you were talking, was it last week or maybe the last 2 weeks, Annie, about the commas? I mean, I think that the thing that really came to life for me in this last month is the idea of keeping the text very alive.
Yes.
Because I think that, and like I said, I haven't done as much classical theater as I would have liked in my career. And I think that I realize I've thought of it in such a more technical way, the iambic pentameter and, the stresses and where the trochees and and all that. And I think that, the real delightful thing about working with the first folio and what you said about the punctuation, the commas, really brought that alive for me, especially in the first scene when I'm making that speech, about how I love my father the most. And it really came alive for me, observing the commas and making up that speech on the, on the fly, right in the moment, because
Yes.
I'm totally caught off guard.
Yes.
With the proposal, and also Goneril, you go first. And the whole game aspect of it, having to scope out, what are my sisters going to say? And so, similarly, there's not as many commas for Goneril in this scene, but it really brought alive for certain parts that, when I say, hear me, and then I think it's comma, my lord, that there can be a moment where she's, I mean, in that moment where he says, I'll go with Goneril. You're only giving me 25, 50 sounds good. I'll go with Goneril. I have to stop him. So it's hear me, my lord, right? All one syllable, but that little pause, I began to wonder, why is there that little comma there, and just little things like that throughout the scene, little goodies, little tidbits were great.
Yeah, I think the more you work with it, the more you'll see it's an interpretive tool. I'm reminded that when Morris gathered everyone around the table to do Lear, he said, I would like to say something now. And we all, we took out pens and papers and we thought we were going to write it down. We'll never forget it. And he said, just talk. Okay, let's start rehearsal. And I thought, that's it? That's the great Morris Karnofsky? And he's saying, just talk? Where's the wit, And I found ever since he said that actors don't talk so often. And I think the folio allows you to. I think, Jeannie, when you talk about the comma and the spontaneity of it, that's what I think Morris was ultimately saying, is that you don't know what you're going, just the way I'm speaking to you now. I don't have a speech that I have in my back pocket and I'm putting it forth. I'm thinking on my feet and expressing it. And I find for me over the years that that's what the folio has helped with, is that people actually sound as if they're talking to one another. And I thought that reading that time through, I thought you guys were pulling it together beautifully. There are a couple of suggestions that I want to make for the next step, because I think, and I might be wrong, but I think sometimes, at least in some productions that I've seen, we tend to want to say this character is such and such, evil, good, sweet, whatever. And that's what we play throughout. And I think what you're doing now is you're allowing those women to not do that, to not carry the coat of behavior or some kind of, I don't know, the adjective that describes the things you do by the end of the play. And that's what I'm looking for more. And there are even more moments I think that can happen, because I think sometimes we forget that we know the play now. The audience knows the play up to this point. Okay. We saw Regan leave her home when she heard Lear was coming. We heard the scene where Cornwall and Regan said, no, we're too tired, we're ill, we can't come to see the king now, and Gloucester's trying to convince them to come down. We've heard that. We in the audience have heard that.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity when you see your father, and I think it makes the skin crawl more than any evil you could ever, a tone of evil that you could put on it, by welcoming him as if you have been dying to see him.
Yeah.
Because we see hypocrisy come to life.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Because we know what led up to it. So that helps. That's what in the end is going to let us know, oh my God, is she really doing that? Randy, I would also suggest that when you say, I think you are, you're glad to see me, I would say to try a sense of absolute relief, because you've just been told that she was in on stalking Kent.
Right.
And that she wasn't going to come down to see you. So when
Right.
she says, I'm glad to see you, I think the idea that, oh, thank God, I still have, and that's why I think my idea is to say, even joke a little bit about the mother. I would say, I'd have to say that she wasn't even your mother, because of relief. I mean, I'm not, for me to tell you how to act is a joke in itself, but I'm just giving, take it and run with it. Okay. And then the next good thing is, are you free? So that gets put aside, even though that's the reason, I keep saying, that's the reason you want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you have the other reason, of course, to tell her about Goneril and all of that, but what provokes this idea of the king wants to see, the father wants to see his daughter, the kingdom, all of that stuff that came before was because of Kent in the stocks. And so now when he's free, you decide, and you've heard that she's happy to see you, that can be put aside now. Now I can get back to sharing with her. Do you know what your sister did to me? This is terrible. Then the next moment is the next shocker. And that, of course, is Regan's response, that I have hope you less know how to value her desert than she. I think you all have a little more time after the period to take in and determine what your response is. I think if it's an unfinished line, then you come right in. I get that. But there's a moment, for instance, let's see, even little things like, I'm on the first part of the scene. Regan, I cannot think my sister, right, in the least would fail her obligation. And at the end of it, you say, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame. And he finishes, my curse, he comes right in, my curse is on her. Take just a moment for your next argument.
Yeah.
And you'll see that, oh, sir, because I think if you come right in, it almost becomes argumentative rather than convincing him to go back to Goneril. The older you can make him be, the more feeble. And I think you have to ask yourself, how does one do that to an elderly person? It's not by beating them up, which neither one of you did. But I'll throw that caution out there. It's by making them believe they can't do anything on their own.
Yeah.
You really need us to care for you.
Okay.
And I think Randy, that brings me to the next one. Oh, and again, just a reminder, and I think you're doing it, and I would urge more just as a reminder, in order to make the line, you shall never have my curse, thy tender-hefted nature. Lizzie, he has to see that in you. So the kind of tightrope you're walking here has got to make him believe you are not Goneril. You are not the daughter who would ever do, because if you show any sign of that, then one wonders then what happens is that scholars now take it and they'll say, well, he's mad. This is proof he's mad. But I don't think that that's what's happening. I think you want to be the good sister. Yes. Be the nice sister, until you have to, change things when he won't listen. Yep. Okay. I'll put my man in the stocks. Oh, Randy, after I know it, my sister approves her letter that she would soon be here. Is your lady come? That's one of those moments. Take a moment, see him.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Rather than just saying, oh, this is like, otherwise it seems like Lear just gonna be angry at anything.
Right.
All right, okay. And Thomas, what is it that you're doing on what means? I know you're doing the folio, but what is it that you're asked? What does he surprise you in his reaction to Oswald? Are you angry? I can't tell what you're doing with the line. And you know,
What I'm,
yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know, I don't want to pressure you into having, it's not a matter of a final answer. I just want you to be,
Yeah,
make a choice on it.
yeah,
All right.
right.
And I would put the same caution out. You take your behavior, take it off of Regan, because I think Cornwall follows Regan very closely. He has a couple of lines in this play where he'll say, nor I neither, Regan, or he talks to Edmund about her. So I would take my cue from her.
Okay.
Okay. I know it's a tiny little thing. What's happening for me now is you guys are filling it beautifully. And now I'm getting greedy.
You know, to me, it's starting to feel like a real family. You know, I feel like, I mean, we've all had moments with aging parents, right? Where we're trying to say, this is for your own good. You don't need all this, you know, I mean, in Lear, of course, it's, you know, the nights, but I know with my own dad, it was other things. We had to try and convince him, you know, we can take care of this now, but it was a matter of pride, you know, he wanted to. So
Yes,
it's starting to feel that way to me, which is really exciting.
And it does. It feels to me like you are sisters. I feel the same thing, and that Randy's your father. I mean, it's starting to come to life that way. The thing we can never lose sight of, and it was occurring to me while you were reading it, while you were doing it, is Lear is astounded by this. Now, it's all well and good to say what Goneril has said earlier, that he's rash, that we saw his behavior with Cordelia. That, you know, and that is there. But we also have to somehow understand he gave his kingdom to you. That's what he's struggling with. You said you loved me deeply, thoroughly, and I gave you a kingdom. Absolutely, it's a fatal flaw, one would say, but nonetheless, that has to be underneath this somehow, not just father-daughter car keys. That what's at stake here is a kingdom. And again, in your imagination, my imagination, we go into a world of what would that be like? It's not money. You know, again, just I think of funerals and how people fight over the remains of, you know, what was left behind and end relationships based on it. And this you have to multiply it. And Randy, I think that what I was getting more and more of in this was, if you look at your speech to Regan, you say the caps come in, you're all lower, the no Regan, thou shalt never have my curse.
Yes, yes.
Nature's capitalized, and then everything's lowercase until what? Offices of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues, and look at here, of gratitude. And look at the capital long spelling on kingdom. He's reminding her. So it's not just, no, you're too sweet to have this happen. You would never allow, you know, ingratitude to take over what I gave you. And I think it plants a seed in her. This is why I think she starts to weaken.
Yeah.
I think she hears it. She's weak. And that's why her point is, stop talking, to the purpose. Get to the point.
I love that moment. To the purpose. To the purpose, Dad.
And thank God that trumpet comes in, and now we get to, Randy, the thing you were looking for a page ago. Who put my man in the stocks? That's what you want to know.
Right.
That when you hear that, what trumpet said, you hear, I know it's my sister, Regan, I'd suggest great relief. You don't have to handle it. Thank God she's here. All right, because when she comes in, you don't speak until she talks about, you know, you have that line at the, I pray you, Father, being weak. but
Yeah.
she takes over. Why not by the hand? And the fact that you take her by the hand,
Yes.
we know that you, Albany and Cornwall, are preparing to fight each other. We've already heard that news. There's news abroad that is happening. And you go and you see him and you take her by the hand. Why? Because the bigger enemy is not each other, it's Lear. He can take it all back, and then you can go fight all you want. But until we handle Lear, we've got to be friends. Then we can separate and fight each other. So that's why I think you rush over to her. He sees that, he's shocked. After everything he's just said to you about her, and you take her by the hand, you've rejected everything that he's put forth. Now the sisters are in league, right?
Yeah,
Everybody,
and
am
it's
I
like that
talking too
micro
much?
thing, yeah, of kids too. I was the only person who could really stand up to my grandmother. I
Mm,
think people felt, or just anyone where like, oh, let's bring her along. She's so good with him. So much easier to be around him when she's there. And I feel that when Jeannie comes in, I'm like, oh, she's going to take over.
yes,
She always,
yes,
she always knows what to say.
that's right. Right. Okay. And then I love At Your Choice. It's a great moment. Oh, Randy, now this next section starts with you. When you do goodbye to her,
Yes.
I would suggest that, but yet thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter. Well, let me ask you first, what do you feel about that line? Are you?
That no matter what my negative feelings towards her are,
Yep.
she's a
Yep.
part of me. I'm a part of her.
Yes, and
We're
yep.
bound somehow.
Yes, and that's what makes it so sad to say
Yes.
farewell, you know, but yet you're my daughter, you're my blood. So we get that, and then that keys off the next section of her being a disease in your blood.
Right.
You gave birth to that, so whatever is in her, some part of you is responsible for it.
Yeah.
But then absolute security. But I'll not chide you.
Yeah.
And this is again one of those moments where my heart breaks, because he thinks he's so secure, he can say, do what you want. I'm not even going to yell at you. You know why? I have her.
I've got Regan.
Yes. So that secure, that false security, believing that Regan is going to be there. And it's the same thing, almost the same thing that Cordelia does to him. It's false security. And then she comes in with, of course, not altogether so. And I keep that a little, I would try keeping it not harsh. Look, I didn't know you were coming. Try to see it from my point of view. Still, because I think you're going to find, and you did this, you started to build from there.
It's also the second time I've said that. I've already told you I'm not ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it again.
Yes, and the way you're saying it to me right now is that's what I'm looking. Instead of, it sounded when you did it the last time, it sounded agitated.
Yeah.
Rather than let me say this one more time.
Right.
So it still has a kind of spell it out for whatever, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. And then again, confusion on his part. Is this well spoken?
Good.
Now you swear to it. I dare avouch it. I swear it. And then you give your, and that's all fine. And then Goneril, you decide. Does it seem to you, Ginny, that there's a little change there from now you come in with some good advice. Why don't you do this and do this?
Yeah, that felt to me like I was sort of following. I mean, Regan and Lear, are talking to each other and about no, I'm not ready for you, and I'm sort of following all this and I'm trying to figure out, what move she's making and, just trying to suss everything out as this is being spoken. And then when she says, 50 followers, is it not? Well, what should you need of more? I felt there was a little change there because it's a different kind of topic.
Yeah.
She's talking about, not that I'm not ready to receive you, but hey, Dad, do you really actually need 50? And so my ear sort of went up at that moment because I thought, I can pick up on this and I can further this argument. I can take it further. I can, because this is a very reasonable argument.
Yeah.
You don't need these 50 men.
And so look what
They're
you're
more than
doing.
enough to take care of you.
Both of you are not, it's not like you want to throw him out into the storm. It's you want to diminish his power, his train.
Yes.
Those men can be dangerous. Remember when you were saying last week, Lizzie, about knights? What are we going to do about the knights? Yeah. Well, if they were just servants, they wouldn't be as threatening. It's important that they're knights.
Yeah. They have weapons.
And they're going to back him. So the first, the thing we have to take care of here is diminishing that train, and you do it brilliantly. I mean, the women are just
we sound. I think we sound very reasonable. There's no for 50 or 25 or 10 or 5 because we have more than enough to take care of you.
That's right.
Yep.
But underneath,
but I don't want them. I want my own people.
I just love how human this is,
I think when we get to what need one, I would say slow it down just a little bit. Because that's the end. We tried 50, we've tried 25, we've tried 10, and now you're saying, why do you need any?
Don't act like a famous speech is coming.
Yeah, yes, that's right. That's right. That would help, right? And then, Randy, I still think you have a possibility. Don't feel like you have to jump right in, because what they've just proposed, I think this speech is essential. This idea that you're calculating that a human life can be calculated. Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what you did in the first act, the first scene. How much you love me. You put a price on love. And now they're putting a price on power, or taking it away, or what you need.
Yeah.
And this play, I think, deals a lot with that. Randy in particular is doing a lot of research on the notion of the soul. And I think this play is such a perfect example of people acting from the soul and not the measure of love, not the measure of a king. I gave you a kingdom, you give me love. Doesn't work that way. And I think that that's part of the lesson that we have to find through the course of the play. So this speech right here about reason, not the need, I think is just really important. And Randy, this time through when we do it, I want you to read it only because you left out grant me the patience line.
Oh, yes, gotcha.
Yeah, so that was very important.
Oh, I'd love to have it memorized, but my brain doesn't work as well as it used to.
Let's see, we've had 8 hours, okay. Any other questions?
No.
Everything. Just get me to stop talking.
No,
Okay.
I'm just eager.
It's like, okay, can we do it one more time?
Yeah.
I do want to make a note that there is a storm going outside right now, so it's perfect setting
Oh,
for what's about to happen.
Yikes.
Hey.
thank you for letting us know, Tom.
Good.
A good morrow to you both.
Hail to your grace.
I am glad to see your highness.
Oh, Regan, I think you are. I know what reason I have to think so. If thou shouldst not be glad, I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb sepulchering an adulteress. Are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister's naught. Oh, Regan, she hath tied sharp-toothed unkindness like a vulture. Here, I can scarce speak to thee. Thou wouldst not believe with how depraved a quality. Oh, Regan.
Pray you, sir, take patience. I have hope you less know how to value her desert than she to scant her duty.
What? Say? How is that?
I cannot think my sister in the least would fail her obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the riots of your followers, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame.
My curses on her.
Oh, sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of his confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore, I pray you that to our sister you do make return, say you have wronged her.
What? Ask her forgiveness? You but mark how this becomes the house.
Wait, hold on a sec. I want to just go back. I pray you. Go ahead, do it. Come on, be a good boy.
Therefore, I pray you.
Yep.
Oh.
You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore, I pray you that to our sister you do make return, say you have wronged her.
What?
Hold on.
Ask her.
Still sounding, wait, it's still sounding harsh. I need it to be, I think would like you to try to be gentler.
Okay, got it.
You know what? This is for your own good. Just go say that you've wronged her.
Got it.
Simple. Yeah. And
Mhm.
that's why he says, am I hearing this right? What?
Yes.
What? Yeah.
You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself.
Good.
Therefore, I pray you that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her.
Good.
Ask her forgiveness. Do but mark how this becomes the house. Dear daughter, I confess that I'm old. Age is unnecessary. On my knees, I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food.
Good sir, no more. These are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister.
Never, Regan. She hath abated me of half my train. Looked black upon me, struck me with her tongue, most serpent-like, upon the very heart. All the stored vengeances of heaven fall on her ingrateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs with lameness.
Fie, sir, fie.
Nimble lightnings dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty, you fen-sucked fogs, drawn by the powerful sun to fall and blister.
The blessed gods. So will you wish on me when
No,
the
good. No,
wrath is
your
on?
choice was better. Your choice was better, better than mine. No, because now it changes.
Okay.
Because now he's becoming threat, so
Okay.
stick with you. Oh, the blessed God. You did it before and that's,
Okay, got it.
yeah. Randy, give it to her again.
You nimble lightnings dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty, you fen-sucked fogs drawn by the powerful sun to fall and blister.
The blessed gods. So will you wish on me when the rash mood is on?
No, Regan. Thou shalt never have my curse. Thy tender-hefted nature shall not give thee o'er to harshness. But her eyes are fierce. But thine to comfort and not burn. 'Tis not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, to bandy hasty words, to scant my sizes, and in conclusion to oppose the bolt against my coming in. No, thou better knowest the offices of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy half of the kingdom hast thou not forgot, wherein I thee endowed.
Good sir, to the purpose.
Who put my man in the stocks?
What trumpets that?
I note, my sisters, this approves her letter that she would soon be here. Is your lady come?
This is a slave whose
Easy.
easy borrowed pride dwells in the sickly grace of her he follows. Out, varlet, from my sight.
What means your grace?
Who put my man in the stocks? Regan, I have good hope thou didst not know on it, but who comes here? Oh, heavens. If you do love old men, if your sweet sway allow obedience, if you yourselves are old, make it your part. No,
Pause.
your cause. Send down and take my part. Art not ashamed to look upon this beard? Regan, wilt thou take her by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offense that indiscretion finds and dotage terms so.
Oh, Sarge, you're too tough. Will you yet hold? Who put my man in the stock?
Hey, my man.
I said,
Wait,
Huh?
let's get it so Thomas can get his line. How came my man?
Oh, how came, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How came my man in the stocks?
I set him there, sir, but his own disorders deserved much less advancement.
You? Did you?
I pray you, father, being weak, seem so. If till the expiration of your month you will return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me. I am now from home, and out of that provision which shall be needful of your entertainment.
Return with her? And 50 men dismissed? No, rather I abjure all roofs, and choose to wage against the enmity of the air, be a comrade with the wolf and owl, necessity's sharp pinch. Return with her? Why, the hot-blooded France, the dowerless, took our youngest born. I could as well be brought to knee his throne, and squire like pension beg to keep base life afoot. Return with her? Persuade me rather to be slave and sumpter to this detested groom.
At your choice, sir.
I prithee, daughter, do not make me mad. I
will not trouble.
I will not trouble you, my child. Farewell. We'll no more meet, no more see one another. But yet, thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter. Or rather a disease that's in my flesh, which I must needs call mine. And thou art a boil, a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. But I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will. I do not call it. I do not bid the thunder bearer shoot, nor tell tales of thee to high judging Jove. Mend when thou canst. Be better at thy leisure. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 knights.
Not altogether so. I looked not for you yet, nor am provided for your fit welcome. Give ear, sir, to my sister, for those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think you old, and so, but she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken?
I dare avouch it, sir. What 50 followers? Is it not well? What should you need of more? Yea, or so many? Sith that both charge and danger speak against so great a number. How in one house should many people under 2 commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible.
Good.
Why
Hold on a
am I
sec.
not-
Hold for a sec, because I want to go back, but this is the speech. One of the things you are both contending with is a dangerous Lear. He's
Yeah.
he's going to take things back. That's why I think you've got to get him to understand that this is for his best. But I think this is Regan, this is the speech. Sith that both charge and danger speak against so great a number. Danger to who?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So-
yes.
So we can't gloss
Okay.
over too
Good.
quickly,
Okay.
even though it may be subconscious on her part.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
It's important, right?
Okay.
Good. So Randy, if you can just take it but I'll not chide thee.
Okay. But I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will, I do not call it. I do not bid the thunder bearers shoot, nor tell tales of thee to high judging Jove. Mend when thou canst. Be better at thy leisure. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 knights.
Not altogether so. I looked not for you yet, nor am provided for your fit welcome. Give ear, sir, to my sister, for those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think you old, and so, but she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken?
I dare avouch it, sir. What 50 followers? Is it not well? What should you have need of more? Yea, or so many? Sith that both charge and danger speak against so great a number. How, in one house, should many people under 2 commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible.
Why might not you, my lord, receive attendance from those that she calls servants, or from mine?
Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slack ye, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 5 and 20. To no more will I give place or notice.
Okay, hold one sec. That's a new figure.
Ugh.
You've just subtracted 25 men.
I know, I tried to slip it in.
Don't slip. Don't slip so much, because we need to hear, we need to hear that you cut it.
Good tactic, Lizzie.
Again, yes, very good tactic, very good, but I need to hear it, okay? And that will lead to, see, again, every one of these is a blow to him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to you with 100 knights.
Yeah.
And you burst that balloon pretty fast, and then we're back to the 50, and now we've just reduced it to 25. Okay, just so we can keep hearing how it's being pared down. All right, why might not you, my lord?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's me, right? Why might not?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Why might not you, my lord, receive attendance from those that she calls servants, or from mine?
Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slack ye, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 5 and 20. To no more will I give place or notice.
I gave you all.
And in good time you gave it.
made you my guardians, my depositories, but kept a reservation to be followed with such a number. What, must I come to you with 25? Regan said you so.
And speak again, my lord. No more with me.
Those wicked creatures yet look well favored when others are more wicked. Not being the worst, and some rank of praise. I'll go with thee. Thy 50 yet doth double 25, and thou art twice her love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you 25? 10 or 5 to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend you?
What need one?
Reason not the need. Our poorest beggars are the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life is cheap as beast. Thou art a lady. If only to go warm were gorgeous, why nature needs not what thou gorgeous wearest, which scarcely keeps thee warm, but for true need. Oh, you gods, you see me here?
Give me that patience.
Oh, you see, you gods, give me that.
Heaven, Randy, go back. You heavens, give me that patience.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Uh,
Thou art a lady.
Thou art a lady. If only to go warm or gorgeous, why nature needs not what thou gorgeous wearest, which scarcely keeps thee warm, but for true need. Oh, you gods.
No, you heavens.
You heavens, give me patience, I need. You see me here, you gods? Poor old man, as full of grief as age, wretched in both. It be you that stirs these daughters' hearts against their father. Fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons water drops stain my man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags, I will have such revenges on you both that all the world shall. I will do such things, what they are yet, I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart shall break into 100,000 flaws, or ere I'll weep. Fool, I shall go mad.
And if you have the script in front of you, can we continue? Cornwall,
Let us withdraw. It will be a storm.
This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed.
It's his own blame. Hath put himself from rest and must needs taste his folly.
For his particular, I'll receive him gladly, but not one follower.
Oh, I purposed. Where's my lord of Gloucester?
Okay, hold on.
Follow the old man.
Wait, hold. I want you to do it again, and I want you to do it as the sweetest women on earth.
Oh. Even though we're alone?
Yes. And I'll show you why, but trust me.
Got it.
Want me to take it back to let us withdraw?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let us withdraw. It will be a storm.
This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed.
It's his own blame. Hath put himself from rest and must needs taste his folly.
For his particular, I'll receive him gladly, but not one follower.
So am I purposed. Where's my lord of Gloucester?
And now.
Follow the
Go ahead, keep going. And now
follow the old man forth. He has returned.
King is in high rage.
Whither is he going?
Calls the horse, but will I know not whither.
'Tis best to give him way. He leads himself.
My lord, entreat him by no means to stay.
Alack, The night comes on, and the high winds do sorely ruffle for many miles about there's scarce a bush.
Oh, sir, to willful men, the injuries that they themselves procure must be their schoolmasters. Shut up your doors. He's attended with a desperate train, and what they may incense him to, being apt to have his ears abused, wisdom bids fear.
Shut up your doors, my lord. 'Tis a wild night. My Regan counts as well. Come out of the storm.
Okay, hold on, because it just turned into a horror film.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
quite right, okay?
Yeah.
It's gonna get worse, so let's get there. All of a sudden, it was like, whoa. So here you have Gloucester coming in, who's terribly concerned. The
Yeah.
king's angry, he says, he's in a rage, right? He's asking for his horse, he doesn't know where he's going to go, okay? Goneril comes up with the idea, don't go any further with this, right? Entreat him by no means to stay. We're not bringing him back in. And again, Gloucester pushes the idea that it's a terrible night, winds sorely ruffle, many a mile, there's no place to hide. Make Gloucester believe this is the best thing for him. Let us decide in the audience just what kind of a daughter you are. This is this is to me, okay? This is humanity. This is the person who says it's a lesson. I tell you about that child who was put in that garage, and he died. And the stepmother said, he's got to learn. If he's going to behave like that, he's got to learn. Put him in that garage. And it's, what was it, 30 below or something, horribly, horribly frozen night. And he died. He died because he had to learn. And that's what this is about. He's got to learn. Again, you may not feel that, you may not believe that, but
Okay.
the point is you're dealing with Gloucester. And you've got to let Gloucester, who's very concerned about the king, understand that this is the best course.
He is
As opposed to here's how I feel. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm just making sure that I can fulfill these last three lines. He's attended with a desperate train, desperate meaning
We'll do anything.
for him. And what they may incense him to,
Yeah.
being apt to have his ears abused, wisdom bids fear.
Yes,
That they could turn him against you.
right.
Oh, I'm saying that to Gloucester. It's hard to know what's a secret.
Oh, no, it's right. It's to
What he
Gloucester.
is attended. He's attended with a desperate train, and what they may incense him to. I got stuck on them like helping him stay warm or like
Oh,
protecting
yeah,
him.
no.
He's attended with a desperate train, and what they may incense him to. What is being apt?
He's already likely to be,
So there's kind of a slightly misplaced comma. It's just one parenthetical. Being apt to have his ear abused.
yes, that's right.
Wisdom bids fear. And what
That
they
he's
may
already likely
right.
to have his ear abused with something against us, against Gloucester, yeah.
Got it. And the wise person should
Wisdom will
hear that.
notify you that it's dangerous.
Yeah. Got it.
And Cornwall,
Right.
I want you to be a good leader to Gloucester. Put your arm around, shut up your doors. My Regan knows
Yeah.
what she's talking about. Because that's the thing that drives us crazy. We know it in our own politics. The smooth talk. I'm doing this for you. Not for me. I'm doing it for you. We all know it. And that's here. It's only when we see it in a play that we feel we have to somehow make the audience see something else. I think that to me is what is so awful about human behavior sometimes, is we do it under the guise of kindness and of generosity, and I'm doing it for you. And then you find out 3 days later how much money went into the bank on their part because it was doing it for you. That's what, and the audience knows it. You know, I remember I asked students, why they act, and they wanted to show the audience about being human. And my response to them was, they are human. You better be good at showing, coming up to being a mirror to them. Learn from them. If you want to learn how to act, learn from the human beings you're playing to. Don't think you can teach them. Theater is not about teaching. For me, I'm saying this for me because I know a minute I open my mouth, sometimes people think, oh, how dare she? But for me, it's to make people feel, you know, Jacob Adler once said, don't ever let an audience come to the theater without being better after they leave. But to do that, we have to love humanity. We're disappointed by it, but again, we have to go on that stage and say, I hope I'm doing justice to every human being out there. Okay? Got it. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I think you're splendid. I could go on with this play. And, you know, we talked about it. Somebody said to approach Lear is like being a flea on a behemoth's back. And it's layer after layer after layer. But I do hope that you realize what we accomplished in 4 sessions, 2 hours each. You know, I wish now we could get up on our, you can't do it on Zoom, but I'd love to see it now on its feet, you know. At any rate, if Nathan's around, we can open it up, or if you guys want to, oh, there he is, right on cue.
It's fun. Thank you, Liz, Tom. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, this is.
Hi to Elizabeth Swain. Hi, Elizabeth. I see you there.
Yes, no, this has been wonderful, and I've been listening right along to everything. And so if people who are live in the session right now, if you have any questions, you can drop those in the chat, or if you want to raise your if you know how to raise your hand via Zoom, the little icon, you can do that, and you can come on the mic if you'd like to ask your question that way. No pressure either way. I'm happy to just relay questions, but this is an opportunity for you to actually interact with any of the artists here. But I can kind of kick it off with a few questions. First, I'd love to know from the actors, from Tom and Jeannie and Lizzie, you know, Lizzie, I know you worked on this a little bit in a previous session with us, but for all of you, what either challenged or surprised you about the characters you played? You know, even if you hadn't done the role before, you know, even just hearing sometimes about these characters, it can set your imagination to work of like, oh, I think they're like this, or I assume they're like that, or I have to play them like this. And so I'd love to hear from any of you what your experience was, you know, diving into it over these weeks, and how that either supported your initial thoughts or subverted them.
I think that the daughters are really often cast as a type, and actresses always get told that they could play the daughters, and I've learned that it really doesn't have to be these concepts. I think that we've talked about this a bunch, that the daughters do evil things, but they don't have to. I mean, that's bad acting to signal from the beginning that they are mean-spirited, because yes, like philosophically, and a director could definitely say like all these people are very empty inside, and there can be a lot of signals on stage of that. But I was amazed that how active all of this language is. And that's why you saw me getting at the end so confused of what am I trying to do? What's the secret? Who's on stage? That's why the next step is getting it on its feet, right? It's like, who is this front stage or backstage behavior? And so it's very active. It's not a tone. It's not a mood.
Mm.
That's the director's responsibility.
Well, I love what you're saying there, Lizzie, and I think, you know, for me, it also opened up that dynamic of, even with the sisters at the end, even if they might be on the same page of like, what do we do with dad, there may still be things that they don't want to reveal to each other, and which is so human. It's just like, you know,
Yes.
as much as
So
you might be like, well, this is my sister and she knows me very well, it's like, but I don't want to show her this card, and I don't want to say this because then she's going to jump on that, and which makes it so much more alive, like you said, and active, and so much more like a family. And then when you bring up mean spirited, you know, we've all been in these situations where you can have a reaction to something that somebody's done, and it can feel very mean, but if you either have a conversation or take the time to think about it, it's like, well, from their perspective, with the information they had, it wasn't mean at all. They totally thought they were in the right to do that, or based on their beliefs. And I think to Lizzie, to your point, it's like, if you can approach the daughters, the sisters like that they always believe they're in the right, then it doesn't make them evil. It makes them much more interesting, fascinating a story as it evolves.
I think
Yeah,
too,
Randy, go ahead.
once a character, if we say, okay, in this moment, the character is being mean-spirited, it's just in that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily follow the rest of the moments that follow that character.
Of course.
Because we, as human beings, we do that. We're one thing one moment, and in the next thing, we could be just the opposite, or, you know?
Absolutely.
Kind of unpredictable creature we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you get
Absolutely.
to watch these characters take those moments, make decisions, take actions, and where it all leads them is what's tragic, because they all create a huge whirlpool in which they all get sucked under. You know, almost every decision and choice that's made, and they don't mean it. They don't mean for that to happen, you know, where I don't think they mean it.
Right.
I think Shakespeare leaves just enough out. I think this is why his plays last forever, because I think, Randy, that question becomes something that after the show's over, we all go and have, you know, a drink, and you say, they didn't mean, and somebody else says, oh, I don't know, I think she did mean, and the play lives.
Yeah.
You see, I think that when you try to put a cap on it somehow and say it's this and only this, that's when it's not the rich Shakespearean experience that I think is in those plays. Look, I've been working on these plays for over 50 years. Every time we have this class, I go back to researching. I don't pull out of my pocket, here's what I've learned and here is Lear. Or I listen to you guys and I come to the understanding that, oh, wait, what is that? What's happening there? Or what? So you're always working on it. I think it's when you try to say it's this and nothing else. The other thing that comes to my mind is, you know, when a child abductor wants to grab have the child come into his or her car, they offer candy. They don't say, hey, I'm evil, come here, little boy. So of course, if you want something, you offer candy. And then because it's all about what do you want and what must I do to get it? And sometimes evil takes a very smooth turn. You know, so that's where I think it's I think we tend to think the audience isn't going to get it. If I'm not evil from the start, the audience isn't going to get that I'm evil. But it's not that anyone is evil. What someone may do becomes evil when we take a look at how far they go
Right.
in what it is they want.
Right. I mean, I think even looking ahead, and I forget which sister poisons which, or how that all plays out. But, you know, I think if that becomes an inevitability rather than a pre-planned decision. It's a much more, I mean, it's a much more tragic circumstance that here are these sisters, you know, trying to figure it out and make it work, and they're on the same page, and then they have to, one of them has to kill the other one. You know, that's where it's gotten to. Which if you're playing that in the first scene, it's just not going to be as interesting of a journey for the audience, and certainly not for the actor either. I wouldn't think. But Jeannie, I wanted to hear what your thoughts on playing Goneril.
Oh, well, yeah, that's interesting following what you just said, because they think the thing that surprised me about Goneril, and it's so funny because I've read the play, I've seen it several times performed, but I was surprised by how, what's the word, reasonable I found her up until a certain point, you know. And then what you said, Nathan, about then circumstances change and, you know, the worst comes out. But I think up to this point, is there really anything that I can't relate to in her? Right. You know, if I'm put in a position where I'm have to participate in a contest, you know, at the very beginning of the play, how much do I love you, you know, and receiving this third of the kingdom, and then feeling like I better do what I can to hang on to it. And then the 100 Knights come and make a mess of my place, and here I am, you know, like you know, the first lady of the White House or something. I mean, everything's just been very elegant and, you know, beautiful. I mean, you know, like, right? They're just ruining everything. Right. And then the whole thing about he might take it away. He has 100 Knights that could wage war on. So then I have to worry about holding on to what I have. And then so I didn't find any, and I was surprised by how relatable.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by that, because I thought, you know, I'm not making any arguments that don't make sense to me. You know, I mean, I do have that underlying motive of protecting my power, but I mean, of course, you know, Lear is thinking about, he says, reason not the need. These are my badges, my knights, right. Badges for my lifetime of being king. But it is a reasonable argument to say you don't need them. You really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what surprised me. And I think that ties in, Annie, to what you said about it, and Nathan, about if the sisters start out as evil, you know, I guess I always saw them like, you know, the wicked stepsisters in Cinderella. We just know they're bad from the start.
Right.
But if you don't play that, if you just play daughters dealing with this very difficult father and having to, you know, quote unquote, prove their love, and then, you know, all the sibling rivalry and hanging on to power. I mean, it's just such a potent mix, but all taking place with a real flesh and blood family.
Yeah.
Because so many times, another thing I was surprised by, just seeing my own family dynamics in this so many times. You know, we're obviously not from a royal family, but just this is the genius of this play to me, is just how he captures these relationships within a family. And they're so much like our families today. Right.
It's so wrong. If anyone says this is unrealistic, I don't believe anyone who, like, if you're saying that the most hurtful things you've ever said, the worst things you've ever said, have not been to your family. Like, that's false.
Yeah, the people you say you love the most. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's that fascinating dichotomy of how we treat our closest relatives and things like that. And Jeannie, I love the point you made about you know, just these being such relatable characters. I mean, it made me think of Claudius in Hamlet, that he's immediately, you know, when we first think, he's trying to, you know, he thinks he should be the ruler, and his whole first speech is, I'm going to tell you why I think I should be in power instead of Hamlet, and he believes he's totally in the right, and we could, you know, there's a number of other characters we could cite. I mean, even though Iago and Richard III tell the audience, here's what I'm going to do, I think they have a totally morally justifiable place in their own head of why this is a good thing to do, of why we need to do this. And so, I think looking at these characters from that lens is such a richer place. And you mentioned something about that contest in the first scene, and it's almost easy to gloss over it that, whatever age you play Goneril, whatever age you cast it, this is still an adult woman being asked to perform in this contest. And it's just like, what a weird, I mean, these aren't like, three kids, like 10, 7, and 5, like, oh, tell dad how much you love him. It's like, she's an adult woman. This is just such a weird thing that he's suddenly, and it's public too. It's not just like, write me a letter. And this is what will decide how you get the king. So it's just, I mean, like, it's almost one of these Stanislavski things where you don't really have to like think too much of how would this, it's like, no, this is really awkward. Just put yourself in that position. It's like, this is weird. And that's exactly what France says later.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, just, I know this is a fable, not real history, but yeah. I just thought to myself, if my father had, I have 2 sisters, there are three sisters in my family. Yeah. And I thought if my father had ever said, all right, Jeannie, Cynthia, Janice, I'm calling you before me, and I want you to tell me how much you love me. And Jeannie, you go first. And you can, and we had an inheritance at stake or whatever. Right. I mean, I can just imagine the electricity, of each of us kind of scoping each other out.
Yeah. And a moment of like, is this actually happening? Like, is this,
yeah.
Is there a candid camera that I don't know about? Like,
yeah, such a rich scene, that it kicks off the play like that. It's remarkable.
Absolutely. No, I know. And I think too often it's kind of played as all very almost rehearsed to some degree, where it's just like, no, this is a bombshell that the king has dropped that no one is really prepared for, and certainly not the daughters. Thomas, I did want to ask you, because I know Cornwall doesn't have as much to say, but you guys did talk a little bit about Cornwall and his role in the scenes, and certainly reading the other scenes, and how he factors in with Regan and what she's deciding or doing. So I'd love to hear, Tom, just your thoughts on looking at what Cornwall does, up to this point in the play, and your take on the character.
So some of the things that like I had on this play before before they were like, hey, we want you to be part of that. Before Randy and Annie had approached me and be like, hey, we want you to be a part of this and read Cornwall. And, we had talked a little bit about like each of the characters. I had focused mainly on the fool in our readings, because that's the character that I really find myself drawn towards, and, his honesty and all that. And something that has really even occurred to me even today was like, Cornwall really is someone who I feel they need to prove themselves constantly as a ruler of this kingdom. And balancing that with his attitudes with Regan and towards Regan, as well as his own hot-headed personality, and trying to find some sort of common ground between those three, and possibly even more aspects of his personality that I'm not even touching upon right now. That's just kind of what I'm feeling at this point.
That's great. And I know you guys have talked a little bit about, in that vein of Cornwall trying to prove of how that might play out with just certainly blocking or stage business of, talking to Lear, and how Lear acknowledges or doesn't acknowledge you. And obviously that may not become the focal point of the scene, but it makes it very active for you as a character of attempting to reach out to him or attempting to say something, and he might not even acknowledge your existence in that moment. He just goes right back to Goneril or Regan. And as we've talked about it, I think that just makes it much more active and alive for you, rather than here's your line, the king nods or whatever, and then you just go back to observer. That you have this inner life going on of feeling like I want to show you that I can be a good ruler, and I can do this. So No, that's really cool to hear. And so it's fascinating to hear the journey, even with a character that may not have many lines, that there's still a lot going on for them in the context of the scene. I would love to hear Annie and or Randall, both of you. I know you guys have been, well, you did this play at your theater a number of years ago, and you continue to revisit it. Why do you keep coming back to it, this play in particular, versus any other play so much?
I'm old.
Oh,
Listen.
you're not playing, but you're not playing
and
Fears in the
this
Cherry
character-
Orchard, right? You don't keep coming
Right.
back to that.
New Fears, sure. But after all the Shakespearean work, this character is the one that I've got to pay attention to at this stage of my life. This is the one I've got to contemplate over great tracts of time, to ponder what becomes of this man. Who is he? How is his soul revealed in what he experiences?
And Randy, are you saying in some ways that have you needed a lifetime of your own experience to try to start approaching those kinds of ideas? Yeah.
Yes. All of it.
Yeah. And Annie, what excites you about the play, this play particularly?
For me, I love the challenge of understanding the depth of a play. And I've seen a lot of productions of it, and I've always felt something's not right, something's not speaking to me. It's, and so then I go back to it and see if I can find out things about it. It's hard for me to say, Nathan, because I'm so devoted to Shakespeare's plays that I'm a perpetual student. So if I'm asked to do Lear, then I jump in and try to find out anything that I can find out. Now, Randy's old, so it means that's the role he would do. So I would spend a lot of time helping him find out, what he could about it. But I love the challenge of Lear. I just think it's so massive. And I think we try to simplify it. We just try to kind of bring it down and say it's this. And I find that every time I look at it, I find some new facet that I want to see actors do it. I want to see actors bring it to life. And the way Jeannie and Lizzie and Thomas were talking about it, that's the Lear I'm looking for. The Lear that someone from our century, 22nd century, looks at something taking place in ancient Britain and sees themselves. And I just wonder if we can see that, would that make us a little more conscious about something we do today lasting 400 years? That somehow we're connected. We're all connected. I also am always holding the flag up for not updating them. I think they're so exciting the way they've been written. And I think in order to, when you update them, you have to cut so much out of the original and change it and fit it into our time or whatever time you're putting it in. And every single time I sit with one of these plays, I think, I wish an audience could see this or hear this just the way it is. So, I'm sitting here next to, I would say, maybe 50 books that Randy and I went through when we put together Shakespeare's birthday celebration. 50 books of stuff written on Shakespeare. That's not even a thumbprint of what's out there. And I'm thinking to myself, you really think you can improve on Shakespeare? Wow, that's hubris. improve on him? Do you know how many books have been written? Psychology books, medicine, philosophy. Everybody has had a hand in reading Shakespeare and learning from him and growing from him. You think you could do better? Okay, good luck. All I know is I hope I can come close to bringing what he gave us on stage. I know I'm outside of the question, but it's all fascinating. You should see me when I have Hamlet. Randy and I studied Hamlet 14 years before we did our first production.
I think too, a play is dead when it's not embodied.
Yes, right.
It's on the page, it's in a book, but it's not alive, and we need to see them alive. We need to see these stories alive, done by actors who care about it, and not just doing it for employment's sake, but who care.
Well, I mean, it makes me think of a couple of things. There's that Magritte painting, "This is not a pipe," kind of thing. That there's that, and then if you look at the blueprints of a house, that's not the house. We now need to embody this. We need to create this so that it's something that we can all experience. And Annie, what I really enjoyed about what you were saying is, I know we touched a little bit on the first folio work today, but all of the discussions that you guys have been having today, and that we continued a little bit about the dynamics, the family, none of that has to go away in the approach that you're talking about. It's not conceptual. It's like, no, this is how you make these real people, and you have people see themselves in characters that were written 400 years ago. It's none of that work disappears. It's all part of it. And yet it seems to elude so many productions that it doesn't incorporate that stuff. So no, I think it is very exciting, even if only in a small way we can do some of it here. But I think it just so illuminates the text and just creates some really wonderful scenes to watch. And so, I mean, I'm just so appreciative of all the effort and work that all of you put into this, because it's just been, it allows me to come see the play kind of anew, even as many times as I've seen it or read it, that it's just like, oh, wait a second, there's all this other stuff going on that I might not have seen before or thought of before.
Nathan, we as actors, we give our bodies and our voices and all of that to the performance of characters. But I think the most important thing is giving our hearts, and perhaps something even deeper of ourselves, to the characters. We certainly give mind, because you need to, have your intellect with you, but there's something about maybe heart and soul that's needed for these particular characters to I don't know, breathe again.
Yeah.
To be alive. And these characters need the actor's heart, need the actor's soul, really.
Yeah.
Or else it's just mouthing off, and it's a bore.
Yeah.
When we do it that way.
Yeah. No, that's great.
It's not like acting should be like tightrope walking. It should have that danger almost.
Yeah.
That dangerous quality, like, at any moment they could fall into the abyss,
Mhm.
But
absolutely.
That's I don't know. That's what makes the theater exciting, I think.
Yeah. Well, I want to be just conscious of the time, mindful of the time. If there are any last burning questions, people can drop those in now, and I'll just wait a few seconds for that. But otherwise, I want to thank those who attended live for observing, and again, I want to thank all of the artists here for all the work they've done over the month. And I will just say again that in July we're going to be working on Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse, an adaptation of that. I mean, it's a different kind of project here, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
That sounds absolutely wild. I am so interested in that.
I'll be sure to let all the artists know
Yes.
if they want to find out more about that, how they can kind of check in on that. Magdalen wrote, thank you all so much. So thank you, Magdalen, for being here. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think if there's nothing else, we can kind of wrap up the official public part of this. And again, thanks to all the participants for showing up. And the cast can stay here, and I will usher the audience out to the lobby as I continue my metaphors of actual theater. And thank you all for coming.
Okay.